Zoom check.
Webinar started.
Good morning and welcome to today's New York City Council vote for the Subcommittee on Zoning and Franchises. At this time, we ask that you silence all electronic devices, and at no time are you to approach the dais. Chair Riley, we're ready to begin.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a meeting of the Subcommittee on Zoning and Franchises. I'm Councilmember Kevin Riley, Chair of this subcommittee. This afternoon, I'm joined remotely by Councilmember Moya, Abreu, and in person by Councilmember Hanks, Shulman, Salam, Carr, Hanif, and Hudson. And also in person, Councilmember Rivera. Today, we are voting on 5 proposals. The first proposal concerns a mixed-use residential development at 441 and 467 Prospect Avenue, known as Arrow Linen, in the South Slope section of Brooklyn. The second proposal concerns the redevelopment of city-owned land into a life science academic complex known as SPARC, which stands for Science, Park, and Research Campus, in the Kips Bay section of Manhattan. The third proposal is across First Avenue from the SPARC proposal and involves the rezoning of city-owned land to facilitate the development of commercial life science space. The fourth proposal is to develop a residential mixed-use building known as 122-03 14th Avenue rezoning in Whitestone section of Queens. The fifth and last proposal is to demap and convey a parcel of city-owned land next to a highway entrance ramp in Long Island City, Queens. Beginning with the 441 and 467 Prospect Avenue Arrow Linen proposal, the vote is to approve with modifications LUs 212 and 213. The proposed residential mixed-use development in Brooklyn is located in Councilmember Hanif's district. The proposal seeks to redevelop the commercial site of the Arrow Linen Company into approximately 250 apartments, of which approximately 100 are projected to be affordable. Arrow Linen relocated its commercial laundry facilities, which serve many of the city's restaurants, to the new facilities on Long Island in 2013. The proposal consists of 2 actions. The first is a zoning map amendment to change the existing R5B residential district to an R7-1 district. The second action is a zoning text amendment to map a mandatory inclusionary housing area. We are recommending to modify the proposed zoning district to an R7A and R6B districts, which will be de-incentivize the tear down of existing brownstones and a rent-stabilized building within the proposed rezoning area. These zoning districts are also more consistent with the height of buildings in this part of Brooklyn. The entire proposed rezoning area will remain an MIH designated area. In addition, we are recommending to remove MIH option 2 so that the affordable apartments subject to mandatory inclusionary housing will have to be affordable to families with a household income of 60% AMI, which is approximately $93,000 for a family of 4. I will give the floor to Councilmember Hanif to give any remarks regarding this project.
I'm going to hold on remarks for now.
The second vote is to approve the SPARC proposal, which consists of LUs 217 through 224. The proposal seeks to redevelop approximately 4.75 acres of land owned by the city in Kips Bay. The new campus will rebuild Hunter College's outdated Brookdale campus into approximately 2 million square feet of state-of-the-art academic, healthcare, and a life science space. The proposal consists of 8 actions, beginning with the city map change to facilitate the reconstruction of a pedestrian overpass over the FDR Drive at East 25th Street, a zoning map amendment to change an existing R8 district to a C6-4 district, 2 special permits to allow different types of laboratory use and bulk relief that will provide more flexibility in terms of the design of the proposed buildings, a zoning text amendment to a map at MIH over the C6-4 rezoning area. This is necessary because even though residential uses are planned for this development, the proposed C6-4 will not only increase the amount of commercial density that can be built, but also the amount of potential residential uses. The proposal also seeks disposition authority to dispose part of the site. Lastly, the proposal seeks site selection and acquisition authority to reallocate city's forensic pathology center and medical examiner facility that is currently located on the site. Councilmember Powers supports this proposal. The next vote concerns a proposal across First Avenue from the Spark proposal and involves LUs 214 through 216. The proposal, which is known as 455 First Avenue rezoning, seeks to redevelop a parcel of city-owned land as new commercial life sciences building that will be approximately 359,000 square feet. The proposal consists of 3 actions: a zoning map amendment to change an R8 residential district with a C2-5 commercial overlay to a C6-4 commercial district. A zoning special permit to allow more flexibility in the design of the building. And the third action is a zoning text amendment to map an MIH over the rezoning area for similar reasons in the Spark proposal. Councilmember Rivera supports this proposal. Councilmember Rivera, you have any remarks? All right. Councilmember Powers, did you have any remarks for your proposal?
I'll wait until land use. Thanks.
All right, thank you. The fourth vote is to approve LUs 229 and 230, known as 122-03 14th Avenue rezoning proposal in Councilmember Palladino's district. The proposal seeks to develop a residential mixed-use building with approximately 94 apartments, of which approximately 28 will be permanently affordable. The proposal consists of 2 actions. The first is a zoning map amendment to change an existing R4A residential district with a C1-3 commercial overlay to an R6-A district with a C2-4 commercial overlay. The second action is a zoning text amendment to map a mandatory inclusionary housing area with options 1 and 2, which will ensure at least 25% of the new housing is permanently affordable. Councilmember Palladino supports this application. The fifth and last vote is to disapprove LUs 231, known as 49-39 Van Dam demapping proposal. The proposal seeks to demap and have the city convey to a private applicant an area of publicly owned land next to Borden Avenue, on-ramp to the Queens Midtown Expressway in Long Island City. This section of Long Island City has little green space, although this green space is not ideally located and has been neglected by the city. It does not mean that we should give it up on it. The city needs to strive to preserve green spaces in areas that have little natural drainage and greenery. With increasing cloudbursts, green spaces are becoming even more important to address flash flooding. It is not too late to show this space some attention, create effective natural drainage, and maintain some much-needed greenery in the area of Long Island City. I will now read the statement prepared by Councilmember Wan. Today, the zoning subcommittee is voting on the demapping of 49-39 Van Dam Street, a green space under DOT's jurisdiction in Long Island City. Demapping the land will result in the loss of green space to private interests who will not provide any public benefit. After attending the public hearing on January 29th and listening to the testimonies of members of the public as well as the applicant, I have decided that I will be voting against this land use action at the full council vote. As I have said before, while there are circumstances in which it may makes sense for public land to become privately owned. I believe that the goal of such ownership transfers must be public benefit. I do not believe that this land use action will deliver the maximum public benefit. The community board, which voted against this demapping, has called on DOT to ensure adequate site maintenance and security, and I support them in this call. The community board also asks that this parcel, the only green space in the vicinity, be maintained for purposes of stormwater management, green infrastructure, and I urge the DOT to clean up this parcel so that it may serve this purpose. Given the dwindling supply of city-owned land and green space, especially in Long Island City, Sunnyside, it is important that this public land remains public and serves public interests, rather than the bottom line of a developer whose main driver is capitalizing on a market opportunity in order to grow his business. Finally, I would like to point out that this land use action involves a broader policy point. Publicly owned land is a scarce and valuable resource. The answer to neglected publicly owned land is not to transfer the land to private interests, but to actually invest in it, which is why the city should not dispose of this green space, but instead should start maintaining it properly. Council, are there any council members with questions or remarks at this time? Members remotely, if you have any questions or remarks about today's item, you should use the raise hand function.
No, Chair, no questions at this time.
Okay. Councilman Powers, you want to give your remarks now? You good? All right. I now call for a vote to approve with modifications. Oh, Councilman Relief, you want to give remarks? Okay. I now call for a vote to approve with modifications LUs 212 and 213 relating to the 441 and 467 Prospect Avenue Arrow Linden proposal, to approve LUs 217 through 224 relating to the Spark proposal, to approve LUs 214 through 216 relating to 455 First Avenue proposal, to approve LUs 229 and 230, known as the 122-03 14th Avenue rezoning proposal, and to disapprove LUs 231 relating to the 49-39 Van Dam demapping proposal. Council, please call the roll.
Chair Riley,
Aye.
Councilmember Moya,
I vote aye.
Councilmember Abreu,
Aye.
Councilmember Hanks,
I vote aye.
Councilmember Shulman,
Aye.
Councilmember Salam,
I vote aye.
Councilmember Carr.
Aye.
By a vote of 7 affirmative, 0 opposing, and 0 abstention, the items are approved and referred to the full Land Use Committee.
That concludes today's business. I would like to thank the members of the public, my colleagues, subcommittee council, land use, and other council staff, and the Sergeant at Arms for participating in today's meeting. This meeting is hereby adjourned.
Thank you, Kevin.